So I had quite a long, extensive conversation with my one of my mentors, not my sponsor, but my sponsor isn't active in the business. For those of you who don't know, but the one of the people that's above me, like in my organization, has been mentoring me because my coach never really did anything with the business, and I was kind of taken off, so they took over mentorship of me, and they're pretty much my sponsors, but they're not like technically my sponsors. Kevin and Milan Jensen actually was one of the founding coaches, and I called him today just to catch up. He's kind of like a fatherly figure to me, and we got to talking, and I've been watching Pat Reelman just did the Eric Worre. He went to the Eric Worre GoPro Mastery event, which is with Tony Robbins and Sir Richard Branson, and like, I don't know, probably 36 and 7-figure income earners in this industry, not necessarily with Beachbody, but in the industry in general. And they talk a lot about, what they did to get there. Like, they share their stories and this and this and that. And we had Pat Reelman right now is at Eric Worre's house. He paid to go and do like just a weekend, spend a weekend with him, like 3 days with him. And it's like a very small, intimate thing. It's like 10 people. I mean, it costs money, but I've been following along because he's been posting in his team page about it. And for those of you who don't know who Eric Worre is, he is the author of GoPro, the network marketing book that teaches you how to invite effectively and follow up, and mostly working on the business side of things, on inviting people to the business opportunity and saying things like, if I were to send you a video, would you have the time to watch it, and things like that. Anyway, we talked a lot about what it takes to be successful in this business, and I shared with him that I personally, I took a step back, if you could say that, last year, because what I saw happening was, I was chasing these things, like being an elite coach. And is his house really nice? It is. It's like it's really his house. Really his house, and it's huge. It looks like it's like a mansion. Go on Pat's page. I'm sure he probably trusts these people because they're like in the industry, and I mean they're people that are making at least $350,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year. So I don't imagine that he thinks, I don't know. So anyway, bottom line is that I got sidetracked with my thought process now. Where was I? What was I saying? Totally got sidetracked.
You were talking about Milan and I don't know. You just started to talk about Milan and Kevin, and then I asked my stupid question.
Yeah. I guess I went to this event with Eric Worre, the GoPro Mastery event that I know some people have bought tickets to for next year. And to me, by far, it was the best investment in my business over like Summit, over leadership, over any of that things, because they focus on skill sets, to train you in this business, not just like Beachbody specific, but like leadership development and things like that. And I was expressing to Kevin that I'm at a certain level in my business. Like I said, I kind of slowed down a little bit last year because what I was doing wasn't making me happy. I wasn't enjoying what I was doing anymore. And so I kind of had to take a step back and assess, like, how do I want to build my business? How do I want this to feel? Finding the joy in what I was doing. And to me, it's working with less people, but being a little bit more involved with them. That's what I found. Finding a balance where I'm still recruiting enough people, but not recruiting so many that I feel like I have no relationship with them at all. So what I found that's what I did. Well, it surprised me when I got my 1099 this year to say that it didn't go backwards. I earned more in 2016 than I did in 2015. So my business still grew, even though I was kind of went a little bit slower on my recruiting. And I'm sure that's due to a couple of factors, but I said to Kevin, like, I'm going to be completely honest with all of you guys. Like, my business is successful and it's here, it's at a certain level, but I want to take it to the next level. And I honestly don't know how to do that. Like, if I knew how to do it, I would be doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's here and I want it to be like here and it's not happening. And I'm like, I've been feeling that lately. And I was expressing to Kevin, like, I wonder how many people feel this way, you know, but they're not earning even close to what I'm earning. You know, I'm earning a 6-figure income. Like they're earning like 10 times less than what I'm earning. And they're having this feeling of, if I knew how to get to where I want to go, I would do it. You know, I don't know how to do it. And they just get frustrated and they give up. And that's where we have to plug into the personal development, because let me see if I can turn around so this light is not behind me. It's a little, Toonie, go over there. Okay, good boy. So that's when I know right now I haven't plugged into a lot of like uplifting personal development lately. I've been doing social media training, like how to be better at my posts. So it hasn't really been like stimulating my mind, you know, like it's been learning skill set. It's not belief building. And I expressed to him, and I don't know if Glenda is on here, but Glenda is my brand new coach. I think she's on the phone. And we, like, I used to get on the phone with, okay, cool.
Hey, Marissa.
Hey, girl. She's my only really business building coach that I recruited in January. I have another girl who is discount, kind of leaning towards coach. And I slowed down a lot on my recruiting of coaches, because what I felt was happening was like I was recruiting a bunch of people and they weren't doing anything. And I was kind of getting really disappointed in all of that. So I slowed down a lot, and I was trying to figure out like what's wrong with my system? Like how do I get better at supporting people? And what I assessed was I focused a lot on skill set development, because I didn't have anybody to teach me how to do this business. Like I said, I didn't have a mentor, so I didn't have anybody to show me the ropes. And so I focused on like, okay, how do I become the best, you know, at closing and the best at prospecting and the best at, so I went to Danny Johnson's First Steps to Success. And then I went to Danny Johnson's Building a Dynasty. These are like professional network marketing people that are now moved on to do different things, like training network marketers to be, you know, successful. And I focused on skill set, sales get. So when I would recruit coaches, what I would focus on was skill set. This is how you make money. This is what you need to do. And what I found this last year was I had a couple of like people that I really liked a lot that quit really soon. One of them actually was like a success starter and was in 3 months, and she quit. The other one quit right around the same time, and she like 3 months, but she didn't have any success at all. I don't even think she sold like a program or anything. But they were people that I really like I liked them. I liked their personalities. I really connected with them. And they both, their feedback was like, I didn't really know that this was all about the points. Like, I don't want it to be about points. I thought it was about helping people. And I thought the training was going to be more about how do I help people? And I was like, well, you know, like, but part of helping people is like, you have to get them to say yes, you know, like, I don't know how you can't help them if you can't get them to yes. And what I figured out in this process of like my kind of looking and assessing what was going on is, as a leader, as a mentor, and as a coach, what I was doing was trying to teach them how to skill development and how to go out and invite and do all these things and run free groups and host challenge groups before they had any belief. So I was trying to raise up these people and giving them all these skills to do things, but they had zero belief in themselves. They had zero belief in the business. They had belief in the products, but not enough to carry the rest, the belief in the business model and the belief in themselves. So Glenda is like my first new coach this year, and she's on the call, so I'm going to refer to her. And we got on the phone, and the first thing I said, and this kind of happened like intuitively, I guess, because of what I assessed last year, was she wanted to ask me questions about, well, how do I host a free group? And like, how do I, you know, like questions about like setting up a profile and things like that. And I'm like, those are all things that you can actually find online. So what we're going to focus on in this call is we're going to focus on talking about ways that you can build your belief. Obviously, it comes from personal development. But a huge component of belief building is plugging into the team calls every week, plugging into the team page every day, listening to the national wake-up calls every week, following other successful coaches that have similar stories to ours and reading their story frequently so that we're reminded they started where I am and they're now here. I can do this too. Obviously, the personal development is huge. Now, the reason I'm sharing this is because who knows what your process is in getting your coaches started and how you do it. Whatever works for you, works for you. But why I'm sharing this is because I've changed my process. We focused on just focusing on her why, her goals, like what she wants to accomplish, things that she's lacking in her life right now that she feels she will be able to accomplish once she's successful with Beachbody. And I have my new coaches create a vision board and share that with me with all the things that they want to accomplish, and share that with me so that if they go missing or when they go missing, I can send it back to them and say, like, are these still things that you want to accomplish, through the business? Let's get you plugged back in. And I ask them, if you go missing, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to reach back out? Now, I'm not saying that you should be chasing people that, give up on themselves, because we know that doesn't work. But you can, give somebody the benefit of the doubt that they may be going through a struggle, and you can reach back out and you could potentially plug them back in and get them, excited again about it. If you reached out, I mean, it's about the relationship. It's not just about putting them through some trainings program and okay, you're on your own, forgetting about them. So it's finding that balance between pulling people along and like just raising people up as being totally independent of you. So you have to find what works for you and your team, and how many people you're recruiting and things like that. But that first call, all we did was focus on talking about belief building activities, talking about her fears. And she was like, oh, I'm just afraid, like on their like new coach welcome letter and checklist, I do an about me form. And one of them is like, what's your greatest fear? And hers was, I don't know if I could be sharing this. Hopefully I can, but it was, of not being successful, and that's what most people's fear are. So we addressed that. We talked about your fear, and it was like, well, what's your biggest fear? Maybe you don't enroll a single person, but you get plugged into an amazing community. You have new friends, you make new friends, you have a lot of fun, you get amazing results. You drink your Shakeology every day. That is sometimes enough for someone to feel that this was of value to them. It's not all about making money. So my point is, you have to talk to people on that getting started call. I have them fill out a welcome letter and checklist before I get on the getting started call, because that can be done pretty easily. It's not like a super long thing. So if someone isn't even going to fill that out, then I know that they're like, how are we ever going to get them up and running if they can't even do that? So I have them fill that out. Then we set up the call. And like I said, the first call now is just focusing on that why, focusing on belief building and the vision board. And then putting, someone through the 7-day training, and that's now self-paced. So it's on them to really, get that training done, and then setting up another call after that 7-day and talking about the next steps for them. So that's my like getting started process for my coaches. And what I wanted to share that with you is because you might think that somebody gets in and they start asking you all these questions, and you're like telling them all the answers, and you spend that whole hour on your getting started call answering questions about Success Club and running challenge groups and running free groups, giving them facts and information. And what I'm going to tell you is, if they don't have belief, it doesn't matter how much information you give them. It doesn't matter how many skills, how many things you pour on them. They will not succeed. 0. They will not succeed. It'll be a big goose egg, because you can go out and invite people, and if you have 0 belief, you're never going to enroll anyone, because that's what you're going to create, because that is what you have, the energy that you're putting into it. So belief, it all starts with belief, and it's one of like the pillars and the anchors of building this business and being successful. So if you're looking at yourself right now and you're thinking like, okay, like I, have a certain amount of success or whatever, and you want to go to a certain level, another level, and you're not there, how is your belief? Where are you at? Where are you at in believing in yourself, in being successful, and believing in this business, and believing in the products, and believing in this team? Because maybe it's that you need to plug into something that's really going to help you build your belief more. There's a difference between being an employee and clocking in from 9 to 5. And we've talked about this before, the employee mindset versus the entrepreneurial mindset. The employee clocks in from 9 to 5, collects their paycheck, trades their time for money. They don't have to think about their work when they're done. It's over. The entrepreneur knows that they're going to invest hours and hours and hours and hours into their business with zero return. But they know that if they continue to do it consistently long enough, they will be successful. Keyword being consistently. Because if you do it for 2 weeks and then you disappear for a week or two and then you come back and you call that consistency, it's not consistency. And I want to reiterate too, I want to say in this that earning Success Club does not equal a successful coach. Okay? That was another thing that Kevin and I talked about. We talked about the fact that Beachbody puts so much emphasis on Success Club, and it's a good benchmark for you to see if you're enrolling new people every month. Because if you're not, let's just face it, your business is not growing. Okay, your business is either going backwards or it's staying the same if you're not enrolling new people. But you can either be a coach that's hitting Success Club 10 every single month and recruiting 0 business building coaches and not duplicating your efforts at all, so you have nobody building on your team, but you're still hitting Success Club every single month. Or you could be a coach that's hitting Success Club 5 every month, but you're bringing on 2 amazing tribe members that are joining your culture, getting on the team calls, getting on the team page, active in your challenge group, posting on their social media, doing all the things that successful coaches do. And the person that does Success Club 5 and gets the duplication factor is going to be earning more money and is going to be more successful than the person who hits Success Club 10 who is not duplicating. So you could be hitting Success Club 100. And if you're not duplicating your efforts, if you're not building your team cycle bonuses every week, you're just spinning your wheels. All you're doing is spinning your wheels. You're working really, really hard for, retail sales. And you're just replacing a 9-to-5 job with a 9-to-5 business. That's what you're doing. If you're, high numbers, and then you have a percentage of those people that are joining your team, staying on Shakeology, plugging into your challenge group every day, joining your team, getting on the calls, doing all the things, there's only going to be a percentage that are going to do that. So if you're hitting Success Club 100, you're maybe going to have 4% of people are going to reach diamond level. So 4 out of 100 that you bring on board are going to be diamond coaches. Okay. So I'm not saying that if you're at 100 and you're only getting 4, that you should be like, oh no, I'm only getting 4. No, that's the average. Okay. So there's 2 things that you have to be successful. Have to, must. It's not Success Club. Any guesses? Yeah. What's your guess?
Belief.
Number 2?
Drive and ambition.
I think that kind of goes with belief. That's not what I'm thinking. Right. I mean, there could be a ton, but what I'm thinking that your business will not grow without this. It will not grow without this. Come on, ladies.
Consistency.
That's another one, but you could still grow it without being totally consistent. You could still have some people signing up. You could still enroll people.
You want to recruit people like you.
Inviting,
yes.
You guys, if you're not inviting, then your business is not going to grow. And by inviting, I don't mean that you're reaching out to people and saying, will you join my challenge group? Okay. Inviting can be that you're posting on your social media and you have an amazing following and you have 10 new people reaching out to you every day saying, I want to know more about your group. Can you tell me? That's inviting, guys. Those 10 count as people that you're talking to and inviting to your challenge group. Now, not everybody's going to be that amazing at social media and get that, but that's where you want to get. You want to get to that level. But if you're not at that level, then you need to be inviting new people every day, whether it's to a free group, a challenge group, or business opportunity. So my question to you is, and think about this over the next week, how many people are you inviting every day? Because if it takes 100 coaches to get 4 diamonds, or 100, I'm sorry, not 100, 100 recruits, 100 people, it actually would be 100, business building coaches that come in for the business to get 4 diamonds. And it could be that they started as a challenger. So you have 100 new enrollments and you give them an amazing experience in your challenge group and you upgrade several of them from customer to coach. 4 of them are going to reach the diamond level. So you have to look at your numbers and you have to say, okay, how fast do I want this to go? What are my goals for the end of the year? What are my goals for mid-year? Where am I at? And how many can I handle? Because maybe you can't handle doing 10 a day. Maybe that's just going to make you be like working so hard and spinning your wheels and you're not going to be happy. So you have to find what works for you. But you have to look at it and assess and know, are you tracking it? Because if you're not tracking it, then you don't even have any idea. And what I know from watching our team and watching the growth and the non-growth is that in general, we're lacking on inviting as a team. So we have the opportunity to do something about that. And I would love to talk about how we want to invite more people to join us. Whether we want to do like a challenge next month, or we do like a push where we have like something in the team where we fill it out, how many people we invited every day. I mean, keeping people accountable to their inviting is basically, some of us, like, I don't need to be accountable to my inviting. I invite, at least 3 new people every day. Not necessarily like I invite them every day, but I invite that many people a week on average. But I know that a lot of people aren't, doing that, and they're not accountable to it. So I'm open to ideas. This is a team. There's no I in team.
Hey, Marissa, I, posted that live video yesterday about the 14-day challenge that we're going to be doing February the 20th. So I've actually gotten even more messages. I've got for sure about 5 people that are interested in doing the 14 days. And one guy even went as far as posting it on his page, and he's got friends of his wanting to know more information too. So I'm going to make sure I buckle down and get all my training done. I'm going to get my vision board to you tomorrow. But it's just really exciting because I just kind of put myself out there. And, granted, they may not all want to continue on, with the journey that I'm doing, but hey, it could lead to them doing the 30-day challenge next time, and then leading to challenge packs. So I'm kind of keeping a list of all of those names that are inquiring, so I can have my list to go back and follow up.
Perfect. If there's a way that you can do, like, if you can have a follow-up system that you have in place, as a new coach, it's really important, because I'm going to tell you, I'm terrible. I'm fucking terrible at follow-ups.
What I've been doing is taking screenshots of people's comments.
Okay.
I got a little notebook to write it. I need to get a planner or something and write it down. Or I know that you talked about Team Z. Is there any free programs out there that I can use to kind of log who I'm talking to and when?
Okay. So
any suggestions?
There's, I think there's some free, I don't know what the free programs are.
Just Asana.
Asana is a free program, but I'm not sure if Asana will let you. I don't know how to use Asana, but if you can, I think it is free, and I'm not sure if you can set reminders. Because here's the thing. What I've found from being in this business for a while is that your follow-up system isn't great unless you can set yourself reminders of who you need to be following up with. So, like, you can have a whole list of people on a list, and then, pages and pages and pages and pages. But if you're not, like, having, like, my suggestion would be get, like, a planner that maybe has, you're not going to be able to see this, but I have the Passion Planner, and I show people this all the time because I love it. It has, like, pages where it starts at 6 a.m. and it ends at 10:30. So what I would do if I were a coach is I would get a new coach that I couldn't afford, or I didn't want to spend the money on Team Z, because I know it's $30 a month, and people don't want to do it, is I would get a planner like that, and I would be writing, like there's a space in the bottom here where you can write down names. So I actually write down like my challenge group, the week of my challenge group, I write all the names in a list, and then I follow up with those people until they're a no. And then I cross them off. And then what I would do with those people is I would go to my next month's challenge group the day that I'm going to do my next challenge group, or I would probably do it like a week before I'm going to start my challenge group, and I would write all the names of the people that I need to be following up with there. Or do it in a calendar, like digitally, some way. Maybe writing is kind of sucky, but some way of having a reminder. Fanya's, I think, going to talk here. Having a reminder on the day of is so vital, because like you're not going to remember to do it unless you have some type of alert that says like, I need to follow up with these 10 people.
I think Google Streaks has that, where you can, it does like a spreadsheet, and then you can have like people in your pipeline, and you can set up reminders.
What is it called again?
Google Streaks.
I think you have to pay for the reminders.
Oh yeah.
You have to do a paid version, because I did Streak before Teamsy, and I have all the pipelines and all this thing, but it doesn't let you set. It lets you set like 2 reminders.
Oh.
So I think it's the paid version that you can set reminders and pay.
Okay. Well, I can start off with like the planner first. If you just want to like snap a picture of it and text it to me, that would be super.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, or find a way to like set, like something in your calendar. It can be as simple as putting it in your iPhone calendar. You could set like, you can write a list, you could have a list in your notebook of January challenge group, prospects, right? And then you could set a reminder in your calendar like a week before your challenge group, and say to yourself, scroll back to January challenge group prospects and follow up with everyone, or like you just some way. The thing that's cool about Teamsy is that you can actually set dates, and it's only $30 a month. You can set like I could set, say I talked to someone today and they filled out say I sent them step 3 of the 5-step process, and they're supposed to be watching the videos. Then I can set a reminder for 2 days from now to follow up to say, hey, did you have a chance to watch the videos? Because I never did that. I would just like scroll through my Facebook, and I'd be like, oh shit, I forgot to message this person. I messaged them. So now I'm better with my follow-ups, which is really, really good, because fortune is in the follow-up, but it's not even about that. It's that when you follow up with someone, they feel, as long as it's not in like a pushy negative way, that you actually care, because you're going above and beyond to keep in touch with them, versus just trying to close the sale right there and they say no, and you still follow up with them months and months later. One of my girls who enrolled this month I think she enrolled this month with the All Access Challenge Pack. 5 years this girl has been on my freaking list. She was one of my free Beachbody leads when I very first started, and I like got her on the phone right away and we talked, but she never enrolled. She never bought anything. And then she went in my free group and she was finally ready, and she's getting older and she really wants to start taking care of herself. And she's the most active participant in my challenge group, and she's posting like every single day on social media and tagging me. So you just never know.
That's awesome.
It's Mary. I'm sure you've seen her because you've been liking her posts.
You're Mary D, right?
Mary Dunninger,
yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Actually, you inspired her because she was like, I really like Glenda, that she's not, it makes me feel like I can do it because she's not like, in her 20s or whatever. I see all these people doing Beachbody that are so young or something. She was like, she connected with you more.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've made lots of new friends already, and that's one thing I stressed in the video yesterday, that, hey, you're not alone, even though you may feel like it. Those words, I don't know where those words came from, but God in the universe, let it roll.
You're not alone. It's the end of time.
Oh, I remember that song. Yeah.
Open your mind.
That was one of my favorite songs.
Surely it's plain to see. Sorry, we connected.
That was all the several remixes. Sorry, we just had a flashback moment, guys.
We actually connected. Glenda used to DJ, and she DJ'd break beats and like house music, and she's really into it. So that was like one of our first conversations was that we talked about that, and it's like it was just like flow, So it's cool.
All right, thank you.
Yep. I'm going to send you a week 2 planner, by the way, and it's going to have a document for free groups, so you can look it over too. Sounds
amazing.
Since you're almost done with week 1.
I keep unmuting myself. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
I'm kind of curious because we have a lot of new coaches on here. Like, do you guys feel comfortable? Like, if somebody expressed interest in the business or you saw an opportunity, like, wow, this person would be a really good coach. Do any of you new coaches, can you like say yes or no? Like, do you feel comfortable? Like, what you would need to do, the steps that it needs to take? Like, where are you at with that feeling? I'm looking at like Maria, Fanya. Well, Susie's like brand spanking new, so I'm not looking at you yet. I could though. You're like a badass, so you could recruit. So
where's Susie?
Like just joined.
Oh, I'm a Samsung.
Like how do you ladies feel? Anybody willing to speak?
I feel like I'm still learning a lot. So I don't know, to be honest, if I would be comfortable if someone approached me regarding coaching. That's what you're asking?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yeah. I feel like I am just right now a big, giant sponge. And I'm just taking in things all the time and still learning. So I'm not sure what direction it would take. I mean, of course, I'm learning things now that's like, well, I would do that differently if I had to do it again and things like that. But yeah, I'm still learning a lot.
Well, I think for one, Go Pro by Eric Worre is an amazing book to teach you how to like talk about the opportunity and share it. But if you're a newer coach, your best coaches are going to come from your challenge groups. So would you feel comfortable, asking someone in your challenge group about coaching? Or if they approached you, would you feel comfortable talking to them?
Probably so, because most of the people in my challenge group I know personally.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So one thing that I do is, I talk to all my people on the phone before they get started. So I know them personally in a short period of time, and I spend a lot of time like forming them, which I know Stephanie does too. So Eric Worre teaches saying, if I, would you? First of all, you have to find their need, which I don't know if Stephanie was going to go into this. Sorry if I went. Okay. When you know someone's need, you can more easily plug them into a solution. So I don't know if you guys were last week's call. I think I talked about a girl that was like a $2 million earner in another company, and she had really amazing follow-up shit, but she didn't form me. So she's following up with me, like sending me totally generic texts. Like, is there anything else I can help you with? Do you have any more questions? Which is great. Her follow-up is awesome, but I'm not inclined to do anything about it because there's no solution to a problem. So Steph and I went over this because her calls were originally focused more on fitness and nutrition and things like that and talking about challenge groups. But then she changed her process and started forming people. So like, I'll hop on the phone and just be like, hey, how are you? So what'd you do at work today? And then I'm like I don't just jump into talking about health and fitness. So if you already know these people, you might already know what their problem is. For example, some of my newer coaches, it was a financial problem. They're financially strapped, and their job's not paying as much as they would like, and they're not having as much passion about it. So if you know that about someone, then you can, and they're in your group, you can easily reach out and say, hey, and compliment them. Hey girl, thank you so much for engaging in the group and being so active. I really appreciate all of your inspiration. I know you're motivating everybody else, and I actually see you as being an awesome coach. You're already doing what a coach does. You're just not getting paid for it. And coaching could be the way you could XYZ, plug in the problem. Maybe it's that maybe they posted in their group that they can't take vacations ever because they don't have time off or they don't have the money. And you're like, I saw that you posted in the group that you never have time to take vacations. You don't have the money. This could be a way you could earn a nice little income on the side to help pay for your vacation. Or maybe they're going to quit their Shakeology because it's too expensive. Then that's simply, I know you said like you're going to get off Shakeology because you can't afford it, but this could be a way, 3 people. If you have 3 people that enroll with you that get Shakeology every month, then you can get yours for free. If I sent you a video, would you be able to watch it? Or if I invited you to my team opportunity webinar, would you hop on and just get some more information? No strings attached, no pressure, just information. Or if I were to hop on the phone with you and chat about it, which I don't recommend because you don't really know how to do it, is you're better off either sending a video or getting them on the live business, opportunity webinar. Or I actually have a video where I do a mock business opportunity presentation where Stephanie pretends like she's, a prospect, and we go through it and I teach you how to do it. And then, or you could say, have you ever considered doing that? Instead of saying that you could just say, have you ever considered doing what I do? And they might say, no, I've never considered it. But that's not saying that they're not interested. If you say, are you interested in hearing more? And they say no, then it's done. But if you say, have you ever considered? And they say no, you're like, well, I think you'd be really awesome at it. If I were to set up a time to chat with you on the phone, would you talk to me about it? Does that all make sense? Does anybody have anything to add or questions?
Yeah, and I also want to add, like, for newer coaches, if you did have someone that like was interested or someone in your challenge group, we have created a process. Like Marissa created a process that's been very easily duplicatable as far as bringing people on, as far as like the welcome letter. The welcome letter that I sent, Maria, to you and Fanya and Susie, like you guys can just duplicate that and literally just make it so everything comes back to you. Like you don't have a team name yet, whatever. You can use my team name until you come up with your own, and literally you just send them the same thing, but you get the answers. You plug them into the 7-day initial training. They have all of that. Like there's nothing that you have to come up with on your own. It's the welcome letter, the initial 7-day training, and then, we take it from there. So there's nothing that you have to do personally. It's plugging them into a system. And then, just being there for them to answer questions, just like I am for you guys. I just want to make sure they knew that.
Yeah, that's good. That's such a good information to share. I was trying to think if there's anything else, because you are going to have to know how to like do the getting started call and stuff and talk about the why and the vision and the belief and things like that.
I'm not going to lie, I haven't done that with them, so I'm like, eek.
Well, what I was just thinking in my mind was like the idea that I had was like, man, we should just do once a month or twice a month, we do like new coach calls or something where we actually like go over what we would do on a getting started call for all the new coaches. Like it would be a freaking phenomenal way to duplicate like new coaches that aren't ready to do that getting started call. I could lead a few, and then we can start having other people step up and lead so they learn how to do it.
I think that'd be good because I know that's one thing that I don't do a whole lot of because it's not my strength. So it's like something that I kind of just like skip over.
Well, I wouldn't mind doing that, except I just don't want to do another evening call. So it would have to be during the day, which I know sucks for people because a lot of people work. So I don't know how to get that in, add another call where people actually get on, because nobody gets on even the diamond call at 3 p.m. Nobody gets on in the afternoon.
On a Sunday?
No way on a Sunday.
Could you just make it one of the team calls?
Somebody about their dreams and their passion, and you're telling them.
That's a good idea, Tanasia.
That's fun, but I'll shut up.
No way. I'm not getting on a freaking Sunday call. Sorry.
Sorry, Callie. I'm totally over. I'm on the phone, so I can't tell who's talking. Sorry, Cal.
No, it's okay. I just know personally when I can't fit it in Monday through Saturday and I have no other choice but to do a Sunday, it actually turns out to be better than what I anticipated it to be. So, because I know I'm like protecting my time and that is a rest day and stuff like that, but sometimes it's just, well,
Sunday, so I'll do that sometimes on Saturdays because I don't usually work on Saturdays or Sundays. But Sundays are, for me, are no work. Like, I don't care. I will not take a call on Sundays. I'll do it on Saturday, but Sundays I will not. I'm sorry.
I guess we could just have them add it to the Google Doc when would be a good time, and then we can sit down and brainstorm like what's going to work for us. And then
Tanisha just suggested doing it as a team call once a month.
I think that's a good idea because I could actually plan for it since I'm in retail. Like the only reason why I'm on the phone right now, if my boss was to come in, I would be fired because I have nobody in the store because I always end up closing on Monday nights. So it's a little hard for me to be on a certain schedule with retail hours.
So that's what I'm saying is like we'd have to do a night call. It can't be a daytime call. People won't be able to get on. We could do like the first Monday of every month. We could do the new coach call, and I don't think it would hurt to like have the team hear about whys and belief once a month because it's really important.
I think it's good because people's whys change too. So it's like, it's just a reminder. And I think that, you know, there's always great stuff to talk about on team calls, but that's one of the crucial, like that should be a vital behavior probably because it's how to get your coaches started right. So I don't know. I think having it here would be a good idea.
That's a good idea because then it wouldn't be another evening call, taking away from families and things like that. Anybody else have suggestions or like that idea? Who likes that idea? I like it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm down with that too because as long as we're not busy, I can jump on here at work and I usually close on Mondays.
All right. So it would be new coaches and we would do like a new coach getting started right call. And we talk about why and belief and vision. It will help. I think it will be good for veteran coaches to hear that once a month too.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like a new coach call. It's just that's going to be our focus every month.
Yeah.
Like everyone should be on that call.
That's the only thing. Yeah. If someone's like getting started in the middle of the month, then they're not going to get a getting started call until we do that first one at the beginning of the month.
Yeah, but I also got started in the middle of the month and I was fine. I didn't have a coach training for 2 weeks.
Right. But you're the difference between you and someone who's getting started who doesn't have as much belief is you already believed in yourself because you already did personal training. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it for people that like think of someone who comes on board that doesn't have any belief but would make it a freaking amazing coach. How do you get them from A to B? You know, not everyone comes on board and has like the belief that you had, you know, in yourself. You're already a personal trainer. You already knew how to do, you know, fitness and stuff like that. You already had a clientele that you could talk to. Like, I'm not saying that your success wasn't easy, diminishing it at all. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm interested, like some of like any new coaches on here, like what is your belief on scale of 1 to 10 coming into this business? Like, I will be an amazing coach. Like, you know, if you're on this team, it's because the person above you saw something amazing in you and sees that. But I'm curious to hear from you guys yourselves, like on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you feel your belief is? Is anybody willing to share that?
Tiffany, you should share.
It doesn't even have to be newer coaches. I'm happy to hear it from anyone on this call. But yeah, newer coaches too, but anyone that wants to share. I'm sure there's some veteran coaches on this call that don't have a 0, you know, a 10 out of 10. So who wants to share?
Or just hold up your hands. Like 1 out of 10, hold up your hands. Where are you at with your belief in that you can do this?
Celia says she's a 7.
Okay. Lisa is an 8. Got some 6s.
6,
7.
6.
Kelly 9. Coming in strong.
Yeah, 10.
All right, we got some 6s. Susie, did you hold up a hand?
She doesn't know. Crystal says
I have no
5 or
I
6.
have no doubt that I can do it once I get going. So I guess since I don't know everything yet, I would probably be in the middle.
So this would be a good thing to do every once a month, because we'll see a new coach in the beginning. They're so freaking excited that that's carrying them. And it's usually week 3, 4 or month 2 or 3 that coaches kind of, I feel like the critical time is months 2 to 3 for new coaches. Because that's the time when it's well, I put in a lot of work. I'm not really making any money, it's this isn't really working for me. And it's are you going to stay or are you going to go?
I also think that maybe the coach call, if we do it the first Monday of the month and it's the coach onboarding, we could have a mini, it's not like they're going to be out in the wilderness with nobody leading them in that interim, even though we're just having the one every month, we could have a mini, you're already sending them the welcome letter. Stephanie says she doesn't even do this. And she's got successful coaches. So I don't think that just having it once a month, I don't feel like people are I don't think it would make or break it. I think there's going to be enough in the interim to get them to the point where they could get on that call and still, have that belief system and have us pumping them up within the team and stuff like that.
Right. Well, there's
we have veterans that still need belief. So it really benefits everyone.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I think
agree.
it's good for all of us.
I'm totally down to do it. All I'm saying is that if someone enrolls at the end of the month with a newer coach, then they're not getting, or I'm sorry, at the beginning of the month after we've already done the new coach call, and they enroll right after that, then they're not getting a call that's belief building until the following month. So that new coach has to be, taking the initiative and talking about belief. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do getting new coaches started this way. What I'm saying is the research that I've done, and by research, I mean throwing spaghetti against the wall as a coach and hoping that it will stick. What I find is belief is huge. And if it's not there, it doesn't matter how many skills you teach. You can be shoving skills down people's throat and they're not going to go anywhere with it. That's what my experience has been. So instead of taking my old Tanasia, you had belief in yourself too. You've been a business owner before, it was you came in and you had that belief in yourself. And that was the difference. Raina, success starter. She was in it for the long haul, not giving up, staying around. Callie, you had been groups for years. I mean, you believed in the products. So I'm not saying for the person who has belief. I'm talking about the person that doesn't necessarily come in with the confidence and belief, and they have a lot of fears, and you can feel that when you're talking to them in your new coach getting started call. How do you help them to start doing those belief building activities before they try to go focus on the skill set? That's all. I do think we should definitely do it. I'm totally down to do the first Monday of the month is I don't even know what you called it, but I liked what you just called it. It was good. The new coach onboarding. The new coach onboarding call.
What about, I know we're all doing a lot of stuff, but even in our group for Team Cup, Callie recommended us doing a personal development book together. And so not to stack onto the crowd, but maybe that's something that we're missing as well, is that belief system is going to be built through personal development. And I don't know, some coaches just don't do it. And especially new coaches don't have a belief in it. So maybe it's if we had that as part of it, if we picked a new thing each month, picked a new personal development book each month, I know you guys did Building an Empire. I haven't done that one yet, but like,
Yeah,
do something like that.
Yeah,
might help. I don't know. And you can build that into the each month's coach enrollment thing, like onboarding thing. I don't know. Maybe that sucks as an idea, but maybe it would help.
I think it's a great idea. The only on the flip side of it I see is if you bring a new coach in and they join in on like the book club that month and it's something that's like way too advanced for them, then it might be like over their head. Like if you're the new coaches and we're doing a leadership book and a new coach is coming in, they're going to be like, WTF, like they need to just focus on basic belief and you know what I'm saying? So, but we can't keep doing just like a basic book every month. Or we could, I guess.
I think if you geared it more towards like, I don't know, like You Are a Badass or like those types of books where it wasn't necessarily like a business thing, where it's more like a personal lift type of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, and we kind of started, we did the one book and then, I didn't do another one. That's like my personality, always like no follow through. So
I'm laughing because that's me too. It's like have a great idea, start off really like strong and then it just
I know, because we're cut by the same freaking, you and I are like bookends, like cut by the same.
Well, what if like new coaches, it's just like, it's kind of just known, like as a new coach, you start with the GoPro. So whether you start in the middle of the month, you just missed the new call, you're getting in a really good first book. I mean, that book's freaking awesome.
Yeah, so, but GoPro is way too advanced for a new coach.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, if you're looking for belief, then you should probably gauge it back. And I mean, there's
GoPro is more about skill set.
Rules coming out by Mel Robbins, and that's going to be a freaking hit. She's on fire right now.
See, you need to do more like The Magic of Thinking Big, Think and Grow Rich, The Answer, You Are a Badass, The Compound Effect, The Slight Edge.
Why don't we just do You Are a Badass? I think
The Magic of Thinking Big. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Big Magic.
The power of doing one thing. I mean,
well, you need to do more. Like, there's difference between personal development books that are focusing on skill set, network marketing, and social media and things like that versus like belief building. There's several different types of personal development, but those are like two majorly different things.
This one's really good too. This is huge.
I love that book.
Or Get Over Your Damn Self or The Go-Giver. Those are all like good ones.
I think anything, I mean, I know it's really important for network marketing to kind of play in there, but for a new coach, most of the people that come in most of the people that I'm talking to or bringing in are lacking some sort of self-confidence or some sort of personal thing. So I think like some of the books that you've named have been, and like I Am That Girl is an amazing book. That's one that's really cool. So there's a ton of them.
Okay, well, here's what we can do. A quick idea is I think I have the You Are a Badass, like somebody in the 5-star wall created like images every day to post from You Are a Badass with quotes like day 1 through day 30. What we can do is we can rotate leaders on months, coaches, not necessarily leaders, everybody, and they can pick the book. And then they can do like little PD quotes that they throw up, like create little images and throw up the quote, in the group. It doesn't have to be every day, maybe Monday through Friday, or post something that day. It doesn't have to even be an image with a quote. It could be posting something that day that they read and they're like, but then we'd have to create like a Google sign up sheet, a Google Doc, and everyone can sign up to lead a month.
And personally, as a new coach, I find that you need to identify where your weakness is, like you're lacking like self-confidence or what type of belief system you're not, what do you need to be plugged into more. So podcasts are amazing because they can search, like to me was like self-confidence. Like I would never think I'm going live on Facebook. I was like fearing that. But I've listened to like every Tuesday, listen to Trish Blackwell, and she is amazing because she focuses strictly on Go Confidence. And so that has helped me tremendously. So the books that you're suggesting are great, but there are also some podcasts that get just specify, they're specific to your weakest points at that moment, that would help you grow.
Yeah.
Handle objections. I can't remember who I listened to this morning. I don't remember, but I listen to him literally every single day, and it helps a lot with how to handle objections and those no's that are yeses. And I strongly at first I was really nervous, oh my God, this person said no, so I'm going to give up. There won't be a follow-up to it. And now every objection, I'm no worry, you're going to be my next challenger. You're going to be my next coach. So just seeing it completely different than the way I was seeing it first when they were saying no, I'm not interested, I would take it personally. Now it's no problem. I know you're going to come back to me.
Okay. But that also comes with time, of knowing what your weakness is. I don't think a new coach is going to be I know my weak, not a lot of them are. You've also been a coach twice already now. This is your third time. So, you have a little bit of an advantage as opposed to a new coach who has no idea what's going on and why they're failing. So that I feel is a little bit more of an advanced skill to see what your weakness is. It's you've been a coach for a couple of months, or 6 months or a year or whatever. But I like that. And I just we're about to hop on our webinar, but I wanted to say in here, acknowledge that Celia wrote, when we did a vision call, when I started, it really changed how I looked at my business. And what we used to do back then was we did a 30-day new coach training. And on the after the 7-day new coach training, we did a call on the Monday following it where anyone that wanted to, or anyone that finished it got on, and we did a why and vision thing with just them. So it was 2 or 3 people, and we focused on really getting their clear vision. And we did that with Celia. So.
It's 9:01.
Yeah, we got to go.
Okay. Sorry.
That's the ending of my story. Bye guys.
Bye.